Hello! Welcome back to my semi-regular bass review videos. Today, we're looking at one of Ibanez's newest releases. This here is the Ibanez EHB1005 in a nice matte black finish. EHB, as you can imagine, stands for Electric Headless Bass. And if you may notice, this looks a little different than most basses as there's no headstock. They use a system where there's a clamp here at the headstock and tuning machines on the bridge to tune the strings. It's not a cutting edge by any means. It's becoming more popular in the last few years, but this type of tuning setup has been around since the 80s. With a number of manufacturers like Status Graphite in England and whatnot, using some sort of variation of this. Kiesel Guitars most recently went to something similar. It's all started by a company called Steinberger. Ned Steinberger is one of the great designers in the bass world, and he had built a headless graphite-bodied bass that used special strings. They had ball ends on both ends, so ball ends that fit into the tuners at the bridge and into special slots at the headstock. This particular bass does not need special strings. It uses regular strings. So this is a brand new model just out this year. It was announced at the end of 2019. I think the pandemic has kind of hurt with the rollout of them. Now, when I first saw about these basses coming out, I immediately became infatuated with the seafoam green version multi-scale. So there are 4 EHB1005s. 2 of them are like this with 5 strings with the regular frets, and one in a matte black finish and the other one in a matte seafoam green finish. And then they also have multi-scales of both as well. And there's also 4-string versions, which is the EHB1000s, but we're talking about the 1005 because it's a 5-string. I had the opportunity to get this one, obviously, a few months ago, and I'm not as hung up on the multi-scale as I used to be. This bass is a pretty fantastic piece of kit, as some people would say. I'll get into a little bit more on the details on it, but very happy with this instrument. So, you may or may not, if you've watched any of my other videos, I've talked about some of the naming protocols, I guess, that Ibanez uses. As we pointed out, it's EHB, so it's Electric Headless Bass, which is a totally new series for Ibanez. Now, 1000. Ibanez does like numbers all their series, 1, 2, 3, 4, and each successive level means a higher quality. So 1000 your series basses, you are in what they call it their workshop, which is not quite a custom shop, but it's just the highest step below custom shop. So these are serious professional instruments that you're getting into, and you'll see some of the details here that we talk about, and you'll see that what they mean. So it does come with its own special gig bag, which is much similar in size to a electric guitar gig bag, because the overall size of this instrument lends itself more towards being a guitar-sized instrument than a bass, with the lack of the headstock. The body itself is basswood with the finish on it. The neck is a beautiful 5-piece maple and walnut. You can see the maple and walnut, maple. It's roasted maple though, which is something that has become pretty popular in the last few years. And I gotta say, I have 2 basses now with roasted maple necks, and they have a different feel to them. And I'm really liking the feel of the roasted maple. The fretboard on this is also maple. It may look darker, but again, it's roasted maple, and actually has some very nice bird's eye figuring, if you notice at all. So it's relatively straightforward. They have another series, the 1500 series, which is some of the top of the line instruments you can get that are made out of, they have mahogany and poplar and I think panga necks and whatnot. So a little bit more exotic features and different pickups. We'll get to that in a minute. But really, I mean, this is a pretty solid straight ahead instrument. So what else can we tell you about this one here? So as we mentioned, it does have a special bridge that has the tuners built in. Each saddle is individual. It does have a nitric locking input jack or output jack, depending on how you look at it. So that makes your cable attach very securely, and there's a button right here to release it. And it's love and hate. Some people hate it because they have a hard time getting it out. They say I've seen where people say they can't remove it by one hand, but I've mastered that art. You know, you just hold it in and it comes right out. Also, it has from the factory shower S-lock strap locks, which are updated version of the shower strap locks. Work a little bit better than the original ones. And it also comes with a wood ramp that you can place between the pickups. I am embarrassed to say that I don't know where the ramp went. I did install it and tried it out. My playing style doesn't lend itself well to a ramp. I tend to anchor my thumb a lot of times. You know, I go back and forth between I do use the floating technique, but I'm primarily an anchor player, and I kind of anchored against the ramp, and it fell off. I recovered it. I didn't lose it, but haven't been able to reattach it yet. So you got to be, if you're going to use the ramp, be careful. Don't use it as an anchor point. Doesn't work well as an anchor point. All right. So what else can we say about it? So from electronics, it has Bartolini pickups. These are in a lot of the Ibanez bases. I have it in my my single cut Ibanez BTB 846 as well. And the preamp is very similar as well. The difference between this and my BTB is this has an active passive switch. So we have master volume, pickup blend, we've stacked bass and treble, and then something else is different. As opposed to having a frequency selector for the mid frequencies, there is a dial, a knob for selecting. So you can sweep across mid frequencies and booster cut. In passive mode, the treble control becomes a passive tone control. And we'll show you that in a bit. And you can see here has a very nice neck join. And then on the back here, these are Allen wrenches that lock it in place. It's relatively straightforward to change the strings on it. And from a weight standpoint, it's incredibly light. It balances very well. You can see where the horn comes out here. It extends to the 12th fret. And when an instrument does that, it tends to balance well. And another unique feature is on the back here. If we can see it right in the light, you can see that it is beveled and angled, and it's meant to be able to hold it into your body better, into a better position. So people like myself who have a little bit more around the middle than we should, it's very comfortable and ergonomic. And that's something that I can tell you about this bass that's really blown me away, is how comfortable this is to play, both from the way it sits on you when you either here it's nice and comfortable, or where it's strapped on and you're standing and playing, and the feel of the neck. The neck is incredible. It's a very light finish. Almost feels like there's no finish, but it's a very light satin finish. I mean, it feels like a fine piece of furniture, really. The fretwork is impeccable, and the feel of your hand on the neck is just great. So I just love the way this instrument feels and plays. So let's now get around to some sound samples. And I drop my cord here. So we'll plug in. So first off, we are going to go in passive mode with both pickups full on. Full on. with the tone all the way up, tone halfway, and there's, you know where the tone halfway is because there's an indent for the treble, so. Pretty usable tone out of that there, and then tone all the way off. Be nice if I played a little better. Tone back up. So you hear the difference. This has a great passive sound. Very usable. To be honest with you, the majority of times that I've played this out, I've used it in passive setting. But here we go. Let's go with the bridge, the neck pickup, excuse me. Nice full sound out of the neck pickup, tone all the way up, tone halfway. And tone all the way off. Pretty wide range of tones there. Now, the bridge pickup. Tone all the way up. Sounds just like a bridge pickup, doesn't it? Exactly how you'd expect a bridge pickup to sound, right? Halfway. Cut some of the nasal on the other side of it. And tone all the way off. Back up. So you can tell a pretty wide range of tones available just from the passive mode. Now we're going to switch over to active mode and kick in the frequency. So this is active, everything flat. Let's boost the bass a little. I said I boosted it a little. As you can tell, a little goes a long way with these controls. So you really get quite the tone sculpting options. Back to center. And rolled off a little. See quite the range. All right, that's back in the center again. Here's the treble. Treble all the way up, and this is something I kind of like. It doesn't get it's not overbearingly harsh with the treble all the way up, which is good because, as I said, the treble control also doubles as the passive tone. So if you flick between active and passive and don't adjust the treble first, you're not getting blown away with ice pick in the ear sounds. So I don't know if it's designed that way, but good to go there. And we'll pull the treble back. Now the special sauce for this instrument. The the mid controls. Now, a lot of instruments have just straight ahead mid, booster, cut, centered around a certain frequency, or maybe some that are like an active would kind of varies. There's a variation where there's a cue built in where it adjusts. With this here, I really prefer instruments, and another review I'll do will have an instrument that just has a fixed frequency mid, but I really prefer instruments if they're going to be active, if you can choose the mid frequency. Now on my other Ibanez, it's a three-way switch where you can choose between 250, 750, and 1000, I think. Or maybe 250, 570, I have to look it up. But this one here, and I apologize, I do not have the range of frequencies here, but this here you can sweep across the whole spectrum by moving the knob here and booster cut. And boy, does this make a huge difference. This can change your tone incredibly so, either boosting or cutting mids. Cutting mids, believe it or not, and choosing the exact frequency of what to cut can really help your sound. If you're boomy too much or whatnot, and if you've never experienced an instrument with a sweepable mid frequency, you're missing out. But that's everything centered. This is the lowest mid, slightly boosted. That's boosting the lowest mid, not the bass. Now if I cut the lowest mid, takes a lot of the low end out of the tone. So one thing is nice. So I'm going to cut the mid all the way, and now I'm going to sweep through the frequency. So there we go. That's the highest mid cut. Gives you a little bit more low end. Now I'm going to hear all through, so it's a really nice way to, where's that sound I want to get? I'll do it up higher here so you can get a better idea of the change. Yes, this is how a wah works, for those who don't know. A wah is basically you're just sweeping through a tone control for fixed frequencies. So that's boosted, and now let's do the other way around, cut. Well, no, that was cut. Let's do the other way around, boosted. Let's keep our thing straight. So here we are, boosted. That's the highest mid, boosted. And then cut. So, I mean, really, the tones available in this are incredible. Now, what you gain from going up to the 1500 model, as I said, you get some more exotic woods for the neck and the body. And seriously, if you're not used to playing exotic wood instruments and whatnot, and you like the feel of a Fender bass, you're going to want to stick with the 1000 series, because this neck is really going to make you feel really comfortable. It's a 5-string, but it's really close to a P bass. So if you're coming over from a P bass, your hand is going to feel right at home. You're going to be confused because the extra string is there, but you'll work it out. If you're coming from a Fender style instrument, the 1000 is really where you want to be. The other thing that you get is, instead of the Bartolini pickups, you get Nordstrands. And there's a different tone involved. Nordstrands tend to be more fuller. And so if you want a full spectrum of the sound, if you're into more of a jazz sound or whatnot, that may work better. I've heard the Bartolinis described as being darker. I don't have actual real-world experience with the Nordstrand, so I can't give you a true comparison of them. If you check out my buddy Low End Lobster, he's got some tone comparisons up between the EHB1505 and the EHB1005. He has the multi-scales. I'm just a plebe with the standard one. But that'll give you an idea of what the sounds are. And if I'm smart enough, I maybe remember could link to his channel over there for that. But yeah, so there you go. This is the Ibanez EHB1005. Fantastic. Under $1,200 they go for. I forget how much the actual price is, but I mean, it is light. It's ergonomic. For travel, it's fantastic. I can take this here and strap it on the back of my motorcycle, and it doesn't hang. It's about as wide as the bike with the saddlebags. So, and I feel safe and secure taking that out and going to a jam session or whatnot where I don't need an amp, just bringing the bass. No problem on the back of the bike. So highly recommended from that case. But seriously, love this instrument. Check it out. Any questions, feel free to pop them in the comments. Check out some of my other videos I have going on. We're reviewing a few other Ibanez basses. I have some other reviews coming up where I'll be doing some amplifier. I got the Mesa Boogie WD800, which is what I'm playing through right now, and the Trace Elliott Elf setup, as well as a Sterling by Music Man bass. So I got some other things coming up. If you like bass content, I have that. Subscribe for that. I also do some other things where I post videos of my bands. I have some motorcycle vlogs that I do and whatnot. So a little bit everywhere. But please, if you like the video, throw a like. Please share and subscribe. Give me a comment. Like I said, any questions, if you want to hear more details, maybe I can do an updated video going into more detail on some things as well. But yeah, that's that. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for checking it out. I'm not a good slapper, so I'm not going to be giving you the best idea of slapping, but cheap ass slapping for you. But yeah,